We are actually live now. So cheers.
Cheers.
So I know you're a big champagne fan.
Thank you.
So just to let all the listeners know, we are drinking a champagne by Mum Napa, which they actually make some really good wines.
Yeah.
I've never had their champagne, so I'm excited to try this here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when I go to Napa, most people go wine tasting. I go champagne tasting.
Yeah. There's a lot of places that are doing champagne now. It wasn't...
Always that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my guest with me today is a master of online marketing. Italina Kirknis helps realtors and lenders expand their presence online using various social media and online marketing tools. Using her skills as an online marketer and speaker, Italina has helped bring success to many in the real estate industry. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much.
And we actually did a panel together.
Right.
How long ago was that?
Oh, a year? Was it a year ago?
Was it already a year?
Time
We did it for
flies.
the Young Professionals Network.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and that was fun. That was out in Fourth Bar. Are you coming out to our next event?
I'm going to have to now.
It's next weekend. Or not next weekend, but next week.
Yeah, that's where we first met. That was fun. And then I ran into you at Inman.
Yeah.
And that's when you're like, hey, come on the show. I'm like, yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah. And that was a good conference, too.
That was a good conference. Always a good conference.
Now, you spoke at Inman last year. Did you speak
did.
at it this year?
Not this year, but yeah, I had the pleasure of speaking on the main stage last year. So it was about 3,000 in the audience. That was crazy. And then I also later on that same day spoke on a panel with it was a breakout session. So yeah, Inman's awesome.
Yeah. Now, 3,000 people at Inman. Is that the biggest crowd you ever spoke at?
That is, yes.
And you just recently spoke at Keller Williams.
I did. I spoke at their KW commercial real estate conference, which was in Atlanta. So yeah, that was probably about 300 people. But it was great. It's different division, commercial, which is different from residential.
Yeah. How is it like for you to get up on stage? Because I've done a few very, very small public speaking. I think the biggest crowd, maybe 40, 50 people, like at the YPN, nowhere close to 3,000. So what's it like to get in front of a crowd that size?
Yeah, well, I'm an extrovert, so I feed off energy. So when I get on there, I feel like a rock star. I feel like I'm at a concert, and I'm feeding off the energy of everyone, and it just feels really good. I love it. People say you don't look nervous. You look really comfortable. It comes really natural. I do get nervous, but it fires me up.
Yeah. So do you have any behind the scenes ritual right before getting on stage to calm yourself?
Well, I'm not like crazy, before a speaking engagement, but I will have to say, because of the magnitude of Inman, that one, was so important, and it really helped expand my national exposure. I knew what was at stake, so I feel like there was more nervousness behind that speaking engagement compared to any other ones. So I found myself just kind of pacing backstage and just remembering to treat it like, hey, these guys are all in my living room and we're just talking.
And they put you on the big stage
on the main stage, right?
Yeah. That was a really cool photo too that you had. You got to use that in the marketing pieces.
That's right.
So how did you get into your current business?
Sure.
Like, what got you into it? What motivates you?
Sure. Okay. Well, I began in the legal field. If you look on whether it be on my LinkedIn profile, or if you have my business card, you'll see those letters behind my name, JD. I have a Juris Doctorate. I graduated from law school. Had some great internships working with attorneys and judges. But really, to be honest, Marc, I just wasn't happy. I knew that this was great that I have this education, but I was like, there's no way I can do this for the next 30 years. So I started networking on LinkedIn, just looking for my next career opportunity and building my network and trying to get those ends. And my phone started ringing because people were like, Italina, you're really visible. You're everywhere. How are you doing it? How are you using LinkedIn? And after that happened a couple times, I realized, man, there's all these professionals who are on LinkedIn and don't know how to use it. So that's how I got the idea to start the company, and it's just taken off from there.
So what was it about being an attorney that you just didn't want any part of?
I felt like, as far as I'm a people person. I love talking to people and being out and about and people's energy, and working in the field. I was just behind a computer all day, or sometimes all by myself in the office, and just doing paperwork. And I was like, it's no way. And not to mention the stress that's inherent in working in law.
Okay. So why realtors?
Okay, so that's a good one. Well, when I first started my company, I was actually going into law firms, teaching attorneys how to have an online presence, how to utilize LinkedIn. And they would just sit there in their little black blazers and not laugh at my jokes, just stare at me. And then one day I met a realtor who said, hey, I can get you in front of, about 250, 300 people at a marketing meeting. You're going to be in front of realtors, lenders, affiliates. I was like, okay. And I did. And everyone was laughing at my jokes. I can feel their energy. It was like so much fun. And I was like, these are my people. So I literally went home that day and just changed all the marketing material and say that we specialize in marketing in real estate.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And it was just a natural connection.
Natural connection. And then what's funny, and you might think, wow, you made this business decision just based on how you feel. Well, later I learned real estate is a very relationship heavy business. Realtors, lenders, they're the main ones who need to be online and have an online presence and be connected with their prospects and clients. And people want to be able to see you, that you have a presence online. So it ended up being a good business decision.
So are you 100% just focused on realtors, or do you still help other people outside of that industry?
Sure, that's a great question. Of course, we have a very small percentage of clients who they're still business owners. That's what all of our clients have in common. Realtors are business owners. If you're in loans, you're a business owner. No one's handing you clients. You have to build your own clientele, book of business. So we have some clients who are in their own. So for example, doctors who are in private practice, chiropractors, psychologists, etc. People who are even insurance agents, people who are business owners.
Okay.
But the majority are realtors and lenders.
Now, your business, you're an online presence expert, but you focus mainly on LinkedIn, correct?
So that's what I talk about. The talk is the hook. So the idea, these organizations, they want hot content. They want a hot topic. And LinkedIn is just one of those. And not a ton of people, at least at the time, were talking about it. So the talk is just the hook. But when we help our clients, it's about having an online presence. And that can mean Facebook, that can mean Yelp, that can mean Twitter, having a presence throughout online. So
Okay.
yeah, we help with other social media platforms.
So where should realtors be right now?
Most of our agents are on Facebook. They're on LinkedIn as far as to talk to their prospects and clients in their sphere, to stay connected there. As far as having a presence, that I don't consider Yelp social media, but it's definitely a heavily used platform where people are searching and I found my insurance guy on Yelp, and people are finding realtors on Yelp. So it's good to have at least a presence, so meaning a profile, at least on sites like that and Instagram.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, are you a solo person?
So I am a person, yes.
Yeah.
But I do
mean
have
for
a
your
full
business.
team. Yes, I have a full team. I have 4 people on my team. I couldn't possibly manage the social media accounts of all of our agents across the country all by myself. So my team is great about creating content with branding, strategy, and then also calling our clients and calling our prospects and so forth.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And you grew up here in the Bay Area, correct?
I did. I grew up right in Oakland. I went to Bishop O'Dowd High School.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's kept you here all these years?
Let me take a sip. So first of all, I do a lot of traveling, and I have friends who, for work, whatever reason, they do a lot of traveling, and they say there's no place like the Bay Area, and specifically, there's no place like Oakland. I did leave to go to school for 10 years. I went to Sac State on tennis scholarship, and after college, went to Lincoln Law School. And so that was a total of about 10 years. I stayed there just to kind of hang out and find my way, and it was fine, but I was super missing the Bay. So I moved back here, and it's just beautiful, and the weather's perfect, and people are nice, and there's that community, and I love running into my high school mates.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about your business. Walk us through like your services. What's the onboarding look like with a new client coming in?
Absolutely. First thing, we basically have 4 different services, 4 really basic services. And really, when you're having a presence, most realtors, most mortgage professionals, they have already a LinkedIn profile. Maybe they even have a Facebook business page, but it's something they just slapped up there. It's not thought through. It's not SEO or keywords or anything that sets them apart from, hey, why should I work with you versus the next, realtor out there? So first thing I do is we have a list of questions to ask to find out about you. And that allows us to create unique, customized content just for that particular individual. So the first step is getting your profiles just awesome, setting you apart from all these bajillion others who are in the business. So the profile revamp, we call that the profile revamp, or setting you up if you don't have it, setting up your profiles online. So that's the first basic service.
Now, a lot of realtors get very intimidated because to them, setting up so many different profiles, in their mind, they say they need to be using all these different profiles. Is that the case? Is that true?
So that's not exactly the case. I would say invest your time. Let's pick one or two that you're going to really focus and invest your time. And that doesn't mean all day. That just means that you're going to at least check periodically, share content with, and maybe like or comment on some key prospects that you want to be networking with. But it's good to have at least just a presence. So for example, there's places where I have a profile, but I can't tell you the last time I've logged in or checked it, but I just want to have a presence there, just meaning have a profile.
And realtors can also use programs like Hootsuite that can also sync up to all the profiles. And so all they have to do is post one time, and it gets posted across all the social networks.
Exactly.
Now, let's talk about LinkedIn versus Facebook. What are the differences? What are the advantages of LinkedIn over Facebook? Because a lot of the talk right now is Facebook. You got to do Facebook. I have a LinkedIn profile, but to be honest, I don't do much with it. I focus solely on Facebook. So what are the differences, pros, cons, and how can LinkedIn one up Facebook?
Sure. So I would say, first of all, yes, you do have to do Facebook. You must absolutely be present there. You should check it and comment and be engaged in your network and like and share. Absolutely. That's a must. I would say the obvious difference between LinkedIn and Facebook is LinkedIn is purely professional. You wouldn't share about your cats and going out to happy hour the night before on LinkedIn. I would say an advantage to sharing posts, professional posts on LinkedIn, is that, as you know, there's a couple of other people other than you on Facebook. Facebook is heavily saturated. Everyone's posting. As soon as you post something on Facebook, it gets pushed down from everyone else's posts. However, if you post it on LinkedIn, as we just said, it's the #1 professional site. Everyone's there. They're just not posting. So what does that mean? For you, this is a great advantage because you get to make sure your posts stay up higher in the newsfeed longer. So your posts are going to be more likely to be seen on LinkedIn than on Facebook. Post in both places, absolutely, but just don't neglect your LinkedIn.
Okay. Now let's go back to your services. You say you had 4 total, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so what are the other 3?
Sure. We already covered the profile revamp. The second thing, once you've got I consider that your online storefront. Once you've got your profile set up, you got your online store set up. Now we have to pull people into your store, and we do that with sharing posts or content. So the second service that we have, especially for our clients who are just like, I'm too busy to post, or I don't even know what to come up with to post. So we actually create done for you, customized content just for you based on the initial information we got from you as a new client, learning about you, so we can create unique customized posts just for you each week. Yeah. So that's the second piece. They love that because it's a total time saver, and it's more SEO, keyword rich. They have a broader reach. We find that when realtors or mortgage professionals are posting on their own. So there's that. The third piece is for those who feel like, I do have time. I want to be able to, I'm already posting, but maybe I'm not getting the kind of results I want. I haven't gotten any clients as a result. How do I do this more effectively? So then they opt for coaching on best practices on sharing content online as well as just overall best practices with leveraging LinkedIn and Facebook.
Okay.
So coaching is that third. And then the final is email newsletters, so that you can, again, done for you, created email newsletters to stay in contact with your spirit either monthly or quarterly.
Now, do you keep track of stats for all this data?
Absolutely.
So what are the stats on email newsletters?
Okay.
Are they still very effective?
So what's great about, I have a client right now, every single time we send out a newsletter for her, and we do her newsletter monthly, every single time within an hour, her phone rings. Hey, even if it's just to say, I saw your newsletter, it's awesome, keep it up. Or we've been meaning to call you, couldn't find your number anywhere. Thank you so much for this awesome newsletter.
Okay.
Can I just say, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
one
go
last
ahead.
thing. The thing is, even if they don't open it, they see your name. They see your name in that subject line.
True.
So it's still a great way to stay top of mind with your current sphere, your network, your list.
Okay. Now, when you're creating content for your clients, how do you decide on what content to create for them? Do you have something that's generic, or do you customize it for everyone?
It is definitely customized. So remember, every new client we take on, I have a list of questions to ask each client to find out about you, what's different about you, all these things. So then we learn your style, your vibe. From there, we can determine what kind of content to create for you.
Okay. So give us an example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So, for example, we had a realtor. She's an Italian. She's a mom. She had 3 boys. She liked to shoot hoots with them. So we'd incorporate that into her marketing material. So, for example, Italian has a strong culture. So we would actually really infuse that into her marketing to show, so that people who were either moms or people who had sons or people who were of that culture could really relate to her.
Okay.
See?
So you go very, very meta, basically, really what they're about.
Oh yeah, it's about being yourself and conveying that online. I would say that's one of the biggest mistakes people are making with marketing their businesses online, is that they're forgetting to show who they are.
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits of social media now, and especially with programs or apps like Snapchat, and now Instagram Live and Stories, because you can really showcase like the behind the scenes and who you are.
Right.
Yeah. So now, your coaching program, so do you coach and teach people how to use all the different social media apps?
Absolutely. That's what's so great about it. And really, in the coaching, I like to say we're going to cover everything under the marketing sun, under the online marketing sun. And we actually end up talking about other business development things, like not even related to social media. So the coaching is really a nice thing that our clients like to take advantage of.
And is the coaching like once a week or once a month?
Yeah, like once a week or bi-weekly, just depending on how busy your week is. But what's great is you once you sign up for your package, it's not like, oh, now your call expires or it terminates because you had a listing coming up. No, of course, you buy your call, you purchase your sessions, your package, and those are yours.
Okay. So let's get into some actual advice we can provide to
Sure.
people. So LinkedIn, okay? Being that that's mainly what you talk
That's
about.
my specialty.
Yeah. So I'm a property manager. What is something I can do on LinkedIn to attract? Because I'm friends with a lot of realtors on LinkedIn.
Okay.
But again, I don't do anything on there. So what would be the very first step I need to do?
Okay. And so tell me again, you're wanting to connect with realtors? You want to connect with developers? Who are you wanting to connect with?
It could be everyone.
Okay.
I would think probably to keep the conversation short and not, go past our time. But let's focus on me trying to attract to realtors.
Okay.
Because many realtors refer their clients because they don't do property management.
Right.
So they refer clients to me.
Okay, great. So one thing you could do is, LinkedIn is a search engine just like any other, just like on Facebook, just like on YouTube, just like on Google. You can go in and conduct a search. So you can go on LinkedIn and type in realtor. And anyone who has that in their profile will come up. And then obviously it's going to be like millions. So you'll want to filter that to say maybe start with first level connections. And then it's going to narrow down, and then you can do second level connections. So people that you're not connected to. And then start a conversation with them. Either connect with them if you're not first level connections already. And then start the conversation. Hey, you and I are connected here on LinkedIn, but we haven't talked in a while. It'd be great to catch up with you, right? So using it as a networking, as a way to touch base or even make new connections and build your network.
Okay. Now I know LinkedIn has a lot of pre-made messages. Should I use those or
No.
should I?
Did I answer that fast enough?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to use your own customized, like what I just said. I just made that up just now. Just being true to yourself, and give a customized message.
Okay. Now I on LinkedIn I can also post just like I post on Facebook,
That's
Twitter,
right.
and Instagram.
There are people who don't even realize you can do that. That you can post on LinkedIn.
Okay. And then you do that as soon as you log in. It's on your homepage,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay. So realtors in general, what should they be posting to attract the attention of other professionals?
Perfect. I just gave a talk in Walnut Creek about this. And they're like, how do I attract the right people? So first of all, you think about your niche. As a realtor, you should have a specialty too. So for example, there are realtors who are certified in working with seniors or certified listing or certified international, so you have your specialty. And then what you want to do is share content specific to that audience. So let's just say you're certified for working with seniors. Most likely your audience is not going to be the seniors. Your audience is going to be the adult children, right?
Okay.
The adult children who have those aging parents. So then you as a realtor, you're going to share content specific to that. So for example, you can share a post like, is your aging parent living in too much of a house? Have you considered downsizing? Right. So that's just something I just made that up. Something you can share that the adult child can see and realize, oh, this might be a good idea for mom and dad.
Okay. Now, is posting on LinkedIn very similar to Facebook and Twitter where you need to be posting a lot of content all the time?
So I don't think that you should post like more than once a day. On LinkedIn, even if it's just once a day or even just 4 days a week. For our clients, we actually post for them 3 times a week, just so that's enough to stay top of mind and in front of your audience without bugging everyone.
Okay. What are some things not to do on LinkedIn?
Okay, so on LinkedIn, you definitely don't want to get too social. So you're not sharing just your picture of yourself. Why would you do that? You're not sharing pictures of you at happy hour. You're not sharing your pets. And I don't think you should even get too touchy-feely, I think, with like the inspirational, quotes and things. This is a professional audience. So you're sharing things that are going to be, more work related. It doesn't have to be corporate. It doesn't have to be just you sharing articles that you saw. In fact, I advise against that. Just sharing a link to an article someone else wrote. Write your own article and share it. Or like I said, give content that's specific to your audience. So in the example I gave was the children of their the aging parents. Give content that they would find helpful and would draw them to want to inquire into your service.
Okay. Now, you said don't share an article to someone else's blog or page, but write an article yourself. Now, one of the biggest complaints from people is that, well, I'm not a good writer or I don't know what to write about.
Sure.
So what are some solutions to overcome that?
Okay. So it's really simple. I have a basic formula that I use in writing articles. First of all, articles don't need to be super long. First thing, address a problem. So in this case, the problem can be my aging parent, living in a big, huge 2-story house, and it's just not even functional anymore. Doesn't make any sense. Not practical. So address the problem. Start with that problem, and then give 3 solutions. And most realtors have incredible expertise, and so obviously one solution could be downsizing, another solution can be whatever they may be, right? So I suggest giving 3 tips or 3 solutions, and then ending with a call to action. Have any questions, call me here, or join our list here, visit our website here, and then give a little blurb as far as your intro.
And that's really good advice, because how many times do we click on articles that say the top 3 reasons why, or top 5 or top 10 reasons why you should or shouldn't do something, right? So that's top 3. It's simple and easy to
Really
do. Any
easy.
realtor can do that.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then what else should we be doing? What about connecting with other people? Because LinkedIn makes it very easy where it just shows you a lot of people that you could possibly connect with, suggestions.
Right.
And I know a lot of people that literally just go through and they just hit connect with every single one, send out the same generic message. So if many people are already doing this, how can you set yourself apart besides just, I guess, a personal message?
Right. So first of all, I suggest when you meet people in the real world, whether you get their business card or you connect with them in person, connect with them online right away. Every single person that I meet that I feel like we can be a resource to each other, I go ahead and I connect with them on both LinkedIn and Facebook with a personalized message. I never send a message without adding the note, and I always use my own words. So, for example, I met at that panel. Marc, it was great meeting you and sharing a panel with you today. Let's connect, right? I'm going to give, based on what happened or where we met, share a personalized real message based on that. So that's one really great way to stand out. And then also once you connect with them, you can go on and see their activity on LinkedIn. Changed it now to where, let's say I go on your page, Marc, on LinkedIn, it'll say Marc's activity. And if you shared any articles or if you liked someone else, it's going to show that. So I can go on there and I can like what you liked, and right, because then now I'm showing that I'm kind of supporting you and I'm engaging with you basically.
Okay. So let's talk about Yelp. You mentioned this earlier, just a few minutes ago. When you talk social media, everyone talks about Facebook, Instagram, and now Snapchat, but very, very few people talk about Yelp. So what are the basics into Yelp? Should realtors invest in the costly advertising of it? Pros and cons.
Sure. So I'm an advocate of using free stuff. So I would say don't buy anything from anyone, not LinkedIn, not Yelp, not any of those guys. What's great about Yelp is it is today's Yellow Pages. You know, people aren't using Yellow Pages anymore. They're using Yelp. So it's good to have at least a profile there. That's free. You can do that on Yelp, no problem. Big thing, once you set up your profile, definitely add some photos. And your photos can be the same as the ones you have on your Facebook or anywhere else. Put them on on Yelp, so that we have some consistency and we know, oh, right, that's you. And then it's great too, because then you have your audience, your clients give testimonials for you there, and that gives you a lot of attention. And I know I've been found by realtors on Yelp, so it's just another added thing without having to pay Yelp. I don't pay Yelp anything, but it's great to have a presence there so I can be found.
Okay. Now, getting reviews though. What's a tip to get your clients to make reviews on Yelp? Because I'll be honest, I ask my clients all the time, can you please leave me a Yelp review? And it's really hard to get them to go online and leave a review. So what are some tips you have for that?
So what I do is, as soon as someone gives me some praise, so they say, Italina, thank you so much. That was so great. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I said, great. Thank you so much for saying that. Can you write that up as a quick testimonial on Yelp? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. So cornering them, so to speak, right when they're, singing all these praises, that's a perfect time. And I'll actually even follow up with them. And a lot of times I'm like, hey, are you in front of your computer?
So put them on the spot.
Right, yeah. Or I'll even text them the link, so just making it really easy for them to do it.
Okay. Now, how do you deal with bad reviews?
Sure. So I've had a client who she had a bad review, and we had a quick little session about it. Basically, I told her what you'll want to do is certainly reply. You don't want to go quiet. Certainly reply and start very gracious. I'm apologetic, and I hate that you had this experience. And say, give them the opportunity to have a conversation with you offline. So please feel free to email me, call me, any further concerns, right? So you're accepting responsibility, you're apologizing. If anything, you're accepting responsibility for the fact that they had a bad experience. You're not admitting to it, but you're just at least saying, hey, it sucks. I hate that you had a bad experience. And then leave your contact information right there. Shows that you're willing to talk more about it.
Now, do you feel a lot of people put emphasis, and when I mean a lot of people, I'm really focusing on consumers, do they put a lot of emphasis really on bad reviews, or do you think people are going through Yelp and looking at the various reviews?
As a user, I'm a Yelp user, and for me, when I go to a site and I see all these great reviews and then just like one bad review, I don't I figure to me it's actually more objective when I see that rather than it's all good reviews. So I honestly don't think one review is going to just ruin your life. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that users are savvy enough to realize that some people are just grumpy people and they're going to give bad reviews. You can even look at the history of the kind of reviews a person gives and you see, oh, they're always giving bad reviews and you
True.
don't give it much weight.
Yeah, you can always click on their profile and take a look at it. And some people are so negative all
Right.
the time that
Right.
that's all they do. They
Right.
Yelp
That's
negative
all
reviews.
they do. So I think people, Yelp users are savvy enough to realize that and they're going to use their own good judgment.
Okay. Now, one thing that we're doing here is we're recording the podcast. You did a quick Facebook Live before. So, in your opinion, how important is video on social media, on your own personal website, on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I think it's huge. It's so huge. It gives people more insight into who you are. Remember, where this is a very relationship heavy business and people want to feel like they know you. People want to feel like you're friends, like you're connected. And what a great way other than face to face to be able to show and allow people to bond with you is through video. I've had countless people come up to me and say, Italina, I know you. They don't know me, but they've seen my stuff online.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people are intimidated with doing videos. They're scared. They don't like to look at themselves or even hear their own voice. But, if they're not that good on camera, they can always be great on a podcast or audio.
I have one client. She's that way. I won't say her name. But what she does a great job at still making the most of video. And this is what she does. Her opening shot is of her, the realtor signs that you put in the yards.
Yep.
She just shows her sign so you see who she is. And then she'll do walkthroughs of her properties. And you hear her voice and she's talking and she sounds very, very well, just very knowledgeable of the property. So she's known for it. She does this all the time with every property, even if she goes on vacation and she's showing the area. So she's really good at it. So without showing her face. So I would say that's one thing that's worked well.
So she does it from first person and she just records and describes the entire property.
Right. She's instead of having the camera on her, she has it on her surroundings.
Okay. So if you're definitely camera shy, that's a really good tip right there. Okay. What other videos have you seen, or what are some videos you recommend for realtors to do?
Well, I would say that since you're more than a realtor, you're a human who has all these other things going on, that you should show that. I think one mistake people make is only focusing on business. And you can certainly tie your life into business. So there's not that fear of, well, I want to remind people that I'm in real estate. So for example, I have one client, she's known for she has, family, she's traveling with them and they're doing things together. And so she'll just do something as simple as, hey, you're a realtor here taking a break. We're out sailing today, right? So you're still reminding people that you're in the business, but you're showing the other, giving some insight into your life, some behind the scenes, so to speak.
And that's one thing that's awesome about social media is that you can connect with people on so many different levels. Your dog's sailing or even tennis. And you're a really big tennis player, right?
That's right. So I've been using video, incorporating tennis. So every Tuesday, for example, I do a hashtag Tennis Tuesday video. And people look forward to that. If I don't do one, they're like, wait a minute, it's Tuesday. Where's the video?
Yeah.
So people come to look forward to it. They feel like, man, they're getting to know you better. And then I am able to tie it into business still. I have a hashtag tennis playing online presence expert, or I'll tie in business development with tennis. So I think I did a post today just saying, I was talking about persistence and consistency. And I wrote, consistency is important in both tennis and business. I did hashtag US Open, so you can still remind people of your business, but still show a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Videos are definitely important. One great video I saw, there was an agent in the Hollywood Hills. Now they have, a multi-million-dollar property, but one of the most creative videos I've ever seen, the owner had a bulldog and they attached a GoPro camera to the bulldog and basically sent the bulldog running through the house, and they edited the video, and that's what they used for the marketing. And it just went viral because everyone wanted to see this dog running through what a day-to-day life in this bulldogs.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so that was a great video.
Yeah.
So the U.S. Open is currently going on.
Correct.
Yeah. Who are you rooting for?
It's really fun. I'm gonna give you a little secret. So, as far as like really strong tennis players, like I'm talking like 5-0 and up. 5-0 is just a rating. Strong tennis players, a lot of us don't even really keep up with tennis. So I have to be honest, I'm not super watching. I do know that Venus is playing Sloane, which I wish they can both still somehow be in the tournament, but obviously one's going to, defeat the other. But I think it's just really exciting to see all these rules being broken. So like, for example, in tennis, it used to be that, or it kind of still is, that once you're 30, you're old and your career's over. And it's great to see Federer and Serena and Venus kind of shatter through that and still dominate.
Now, you said the rating for tennis, 5 and up?
Yeah, so that's league tennis. Obviously, if you're a pro, you're like 7-0, but you're a pro. That's a whole nother league. But as far as league tennis, there's like 2.0 all the way up to as high as like 6.0 or something like that. Most like really strong players are 4.5, 5.0. So that's just a league rating that you play once you're not on the circuit anymore.
Okay. Did you ever try to pursue like professional tennis?
Of course. But for me, it was about, getting my education. I think there's a point where you need to just grow up and realize this isn't going to be a life, right? You're going to have to stay in school, get a career, get a job.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go into some other avenues here for social media. Snapchat.
Okay.
Do you use Snapchat?
I do not use Snapchat. I don't even have a profile on Snapchat. And here's my thing. My clients are primarily 40 to 70. Their clients are predominantly on Facebook and LinkedIn. So hence why I don't have them really focus on Snapchat and other things. I'm not saying they don't have to be. I'm just saying for my clients, I know my clients are in a position where they just want to do the basics and stay in contact with their sphere. That's their whole point of being online. And if their sphere is not on Snapchat, so that's why we don't. That's not really a focus.
Okay. So you mainly focus, instead of really trying to build a new sphere of influence for people, you really tell them, hey, you already have a sphere of influence. Right. Focus on these people first.
Exactly, the lower hanging fruit.
Okay. Now, new agents getting into the business. It's always a topic. In fact, when we were over at Inman, there were a few broker and agent connect sessions that were basically interviewing several real estate agents, new and old in the business. And one of the biggest topics was the lack of marketing and lead generating provided for the agents by the brokers. Do you think it's something that brokers should provide to their agents?
This is a fun question. So for me, I feel like, man, I wish somebody was handing me business. And to me, I feel like, especially if you're new, you should learn the basics of of building relationships, of connecting with people, of maintaining a database. And then once you're, rocking it and killing it, and then as a reward, maybe your top agents get some leads. But I just feel like when you're new, you're starting, because then you run the risk of giving them a lead and they don't even know how to take care of it. So have them go through the grunges first, and build their own book of business like that. And then from there, the top agents in the office can get a reward. That's my opinion.
Okay. Now, what about some Instagram tips here?
Sure.
Okay.
So with Instagram, I like to treat Instagram as that's an opportunity to get even more personal than you would on Facebook. So for example, on Instagram, there may be some overlap between what I share on Instagram, but for the most part, there's really personal things that I would not share on Facebook at all. So, for example, yesterday I posted a pair of Lucky jeans. I have these ragged pair of Lucky jeans, and I was like, man, these jeans make me happy. Like, they're just so awesome, and I shared that. And while my audience on Facebook may think that's foolishness, we don't want to see this, I feel like my followers on Instagram, they have more of a bond with me. They want to see those.
It's more personal.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, on Instagram, you can also do direct messaging.
Mm-hmm.
And so do you recommend the same strategy on LinkedIn as on Instagram?
As far as
contacting your sphere of influence, sending them a message, friend requesting.
So what's great, actually, what I would recommend as far as on Instagram, rather than, I mean, of course you can send a direct message, a personal private message, but I like the idea on Instagram of publicly liking and sharing comments on their actual post, so that they feel like you're sharing the love, they're staying high in the news feed, that kind of thing. So I feel like on Instagram it's more about getting all those comments, getting all those likes.
Okay. Now, content that you post on Instagram, and I've heard some people suggest that you really need to go the route of just being very personal. And then I've heard other people say, well, no, you need to really have a very, very conforming page. Like everything kind of matches everything, right? Like, for example, if you're a business owner or a restaurant owner, all your photos should be of food, for example. What do you think on that?
Sure. And I've seen some great pages where that's the case. I've seen some realtors pages where there's nothing but all these beautiful listings and they've got thousands of followers. I've seen pages where they have patterns where they'll do like a quote, picture, like that kind of thing. They create this pattern, this theme. And I think it's nice to have a themed page, but really for my clients and for people who are just like, I just need to have an online presence, I see the importance of it, to not make it too difficult. It's like, just share some content. My page is crazy. Okay. There's no theme on my page. Some common themes that you'll see is tennis, business, personal stuff. But there's no theme, as far as a pattern where you can see this clearly visual, beautiful pattern. That's really popular and that's a beautiful thing to do. But I think it's progress is better than perfection. You're doing it. You're posting. That's progress. That's better than doing nothing.
Now on Instagram, do you recommend posting daily or 3 times a week?
So Instagram is different. Instagram, you can post 3 times a day. Instagram is something you can do daily. I find that I have better success when we post on our page more than once a day. But I feel like on sites like Facebook or LinkedIn, once is fine. Okay.
Now, do you use Instagram Live like you use Facebook Live?
So I have yet to use Instagram Live. And what's really, really funny is, I'm 6 years in the business and I don't do everything that I talk about. And this year, for example, we just started using video. This year, can you imagine?
Really?
This year. So I think it's just a matter of doing what you can. And let's say you listen to this today and you're like, I know I need to do it, I just don't know when. Plug a time in your calendar and say, implement social media strategies or start Instagram postings. Put it in your calendar to start and implement at some point. And I think that's perfectly okay.
Okay. So time budgeting your social media post, that can help, right?
Absolutely. If you have a time, I think your downtime is really great. So whether it be you waiting in line, you in the restroom, sometimes you have to spend a lot of time in there, create some content while you're sitting in there.
So I think you made a good point that you don't have to do everything. It's really about just setting up the profiles, making sure you have a presence available there. And that's one thing that many people don't know, is that when you have multiple social media channels together, especially if you brand them under the same name, whether it's your name or a motto, or for example, mine's Marc Guzman Homes everywhere on all channels, that Google will actually combine these. And so if someone types in, I'm looking for Marc Guzman, they're likely going to be looking at all these different channels.
Right.
So it actually helps with SEO online on Google
absolutely.
to actually do all that, even if you have static pages.
Right. Right. So that's what I'm saying. Half the battle is just setting up that profile, have that presence there. Pick one or two that you want to really focus on. Calendar when you are going to pay attention to YouTube versus your Facebook and LinkedIn or your Instagram. Calendar it so that you get that alert and you know, okay, I'm going to bust this out real quick.
Okay. Now, are you taking on new clients?
I am.
Always, right?
Yeah.
So what is the best way for someone to contact you?
Sure. Well, I'm really easy to find, hopefully, online, as much as I advocate it. So you can, my number's everywhere. If you go on my link, I would suggest, if you're listening, connect with me on LinkedIn. Italina, all I's and A's, Italina.
And don't send the standard
basic
message.
Hey, I heard your I saw you on the podcast. I heard you on the podcast. Say something to let me know. But yeah, Italina Kirknis, Kirknis. Typically, as soon as someone puts in Italina or at worst Italina K, I pop right up. Send me a connection request. My phone number is right there on my profile and in my heading. In fact, call, text. I love it when I'll be on stage and I'll get a text. Hey, I'm watching you. You know, you're talking. It's awesome. So sure, feel free to call, text, and my email is there. So should be pretty easy to find.
Okay, perfect.
If you want Instagram or Twitter, it's at Italina K. So it's all Italina K. Even on the YouTube, I would think Italina K. Yeah, there's free videos, free resources on the YouTube channel.
Okay, perfect. Hopefully you like the champagne too.
Oh, champagne is great. You know what's so great about champagne is you can drink it anytime.
Yeah. Well, with these podcasts, we've been drinking red wine and beer almost anytime too. Okay. Well, thank you for being on the podcast. We'll make sure to link up all your websites and links. If you have any special programs for realtors, send us a link. We'll go ahead and link it up for you there.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Marc.
I really, really want to thank all of you for listening. It means the world to me, and I hope today's episode provides you value in your day-to-day life. I created this podcast to help showcase the many great people that live in this world and help share some knowledge that I've learned along the way in life. Again, thank you for listening. Check out our sponsors, and I'll catch you on the next episode.